Squires of Vendale. This is part 3 of the Babel Has Fallen breakdown series. As always, you can find the links to the previous installments in the description, and if you have any questions for me and Mango, feel free to ask them in the comments section. Now, let's dive in and talk about Beloved.
I love that the line starts, remember the old days when we were both free? Because I get immediate nostalgia from that. Remember the old days when we wrote this song? Way back at the start of this channel.
Oh my goodness. This song is like the embodiment of nostalgia. Both because it's capturing Tubbo's nostalgia, but also it's capturing our nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, it's both our nostalgia for, like, the channel and writing the song, but to me it also reminds me of the nostalgia of, like, Dream SMP.
Yeah.
Of, like, specifically the old days back in, 2020 and January 2021, like, really old days when the revolution and Pogtopia was still happening, Tubbo's presidency and the exile arc. Like, that's nostalgic for me at this point, and this song talks about a lot of that. So there's so many ways that this song is nostalgia factor.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish that we could go back to the memories.
Oh, that has so many meanings.
It does.
Just for Tubbo and for us and for the community. Just, this song. This is the nostalgia song and I love it.
The Titans referenced again. We tried to fight Titans.
The Titan reference comes back here. Actually, this is the first reference of Titans, because Beloved came right after Prometheus.
That's
Do you know
true.
Do you know how soon after Prometheus Beloved came out?
We wrote it like the next day, didn't we?
Yeah. Do you want to know when I uploaded it?
When?
6 days.
Right.
It came out 6 days after Prometheus.
It was the next week, because I was
It was less than a week. We were both obsessing.
Well, it was really funny because I was obsessing about Prometheus to my family. Like, I just got to do this super cool thing with Night. This is awesome. And I was trying to get them to listen to it. And then Beloved came out, so I started obsessing over that. And my mother was like, okay, time to hear the song. And I'm like, actually, there's 2 now.
Yeah, we churned them out that week. We got real excited. It's really good. It's another one of it's the last of what I consider the Cornerstone songs. This one, Prometheus, and You Dreamed a Dream are my Cornerstone songs for this album. Everything is built on those 3 songs. I say everything. There are 2 exceptions, those being In a Castle on a Cloud, because it came before the Cornerstone songs, and Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which we'll talk about later. But every other song is, like, goes back to those 3 in some shape or form.
I'm going to point this out because we forgot to talk about this in You Dreamed a Dream. You hummed a theme and summoned the divine. This is kind of stolen from Wilbur in the actual Dream SMP, where he talks about his symphony. But there are a lot of music references. In this one, it's in their cold refrain.
Well, here's the thing. It's not just the symphony thing. In You Dreamed a Dream, the humming the theme is not referencing to Wilbur's symphony.
What's it referencing?
It's referencing the Mila Manberg song.
Right.
Yeah.
But those are kind of
which in my brain is different.
Fair enough.
Oh. In my brain, they're a little bit different but I guess they're kind of tied. But in my brain, at least when I was writing it, they're different.
They were both things that Wilbur did that kind of created that musical association, yeah.
Right, they both have that musical association. I just consider the song different because the symphony in my brain is La Manberg.
That's fair.
If I'm not wrong, this is your favorite song, right?
It's very much tied with This Tragedy of Mine. It's definitely, there's a tie there. It's definitely on the number 1.
Yeah. I mean, this is your favorite song because, I mean, we wrote Prometheus together, but I'd already come up with about half the song. Beloved is much more your lyrical influence than mine. Like, I think you came up with much more of the lyrics than I did.
Yeah, you gave me a lot of freedom with this one because
yeah.
I like to think of, like, Prometheus and Beloved as kind of your style versus my style.
Yeah.
Because, like, So we're both creative writers, and if you actually look at the sort of stories we write, these line up. Like, we have distinctive styles.
Oh, for sure. We do. And yeah, you can see it just both in our writing and in our songwriting.
So I like to think of Prometheus as your song and Beloved as my song. If I may be so bold, given that you
may be so bold, because that is so true.
But what happened is we kind of made Prometheus on this sort of whim, really. And then the next day, Knight comes to me and goes, "So I had this idea for a Rambo song," and I was like, "Yes, let's do it," because Rambu's my favorite character, has been for a long time. And so Knight, she was less familiar with the Rambu lore, but I was like, "I got you, buddy. I know the Rambu lore." 'Cause I watched
Tommy.
Right, because you watched Tommy and I watched Rambu. And so we sat down and we worked on this Rambu song. And I think originally we were kind of going for the, voices in my head sort of thing, which is fair, and it was a great idea.
Yeah, and it was like angsty, almost punk sounding song. And I have a clip of, and we've talked about this before in the 500, the 1,000 subscriber Q&A, and there is a clip of that song, the original Ranbu idea, in that video.
Go back and listen to it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a short clip, but it's in there, and you'll see it's way different than what Beloved became.
Well, what happened was we were talking about it, and we kind of realized, hey, the thing we're thinking about is cool, and it would make a cool song, but it's been done already several times.
Over and over and over. I mean, you got in My Head, you've got, what else you got? You got Bright Eyes, that was later. No, that was that summer.
I can't remember when they all came out.
That also came out that year.
There are a lot of great Rambu songs, and I enjoy them.
There were so many.
But it doesn't need to be done again when we could do something new.
We were going the same direction as them. And this song is not connected to Haunted. This was not like a Haunted precursor or anything.
Right.
This song sounded way different than Haunted.
Right.
Like, these are not connected ideas.
Yeah, we hadn't even dreamed of Haunted yet. We were just thinking, hey, let's go maybe for a different aspect of Rambu that no one's explored before. And we kind of landed on his relationship with Tubbo. And I pointed this out, I think, that Rambu and Tubbo's relationship was never really the most healthy one. And
yeah,
it wasn't as clear at the time. Actually, this song was almost canon adjacent instead of really canon at the time.
Oh yeah, for so long, because Hitting on 16 hadn't come out.
Right, it's in the tags on this song now because we were like, this works. And I was really excited when Hitting on 16 came out because I was like, I was right, I told you guys.
And I saw multiple posts after that, like talking about Beloved in reference to Hitting on 16.
Right.
Being like, hey, are you looking for Hitting on 16 music? Check out Beloved. Which was really weird for me.
Because it came out way before.
Right. It was months old at that point.
That's the kind of idea that we had for Beloved, was this idea of, this is a relationship which, we designed it to be deliberately ambiguous because there is a lot of debate about B-Duo and how people choose to read it. And I actually really like that because, other than Beloved, which is a title assigned to Rambu in our fandom, it's not really clear what the relationship is, other than that it's falling apart.
Yeah.
And the kind of cool thing about that is I think Beloved is one of the songs that works best even outside of its context. Like, I can go show this to other people who don't know what Dream SMP is. And obviously they're not going to understand every detail, but it still makes a lot of sense without the context. And I think that's really cool. Mm-hmm. So we took a different direction.
Oh, yeah.
Or I proposed one and Knight let me run with it. Then, so we were writing this originally from Rambu's perspective. It was supposed to be a Rambu song.
Mm-hmm.
And
because that's what I started off proposing.
Right. And then kind of partway through, I kind of looked, I didn't look at Knight because she wasn't there. We were on a phone call. But I said to Knight, hey, plot twist. what if this is Tubbo's perspective?
Because I think at that point we'd written the chorus.
Yeah, we'd written the chorus.
And we were working on the verses. And that's when you turned it.
Yeah, that's when I flipped it. So you'll notice as you read the verses that they're very carefully worded, so that it sounds like it could be Tubbo or Ranbu. A lot of people assume it's Ranbu at first, which we deliberately messed with you guys with.
On the video, for sure.
Right.
Well, I think now it's technically called a Tubbo song in the title.
Right.
But for the longest time, I only called it a B-duo song.
Right. It was called a B-duo song, and the way the picture is drawn and the light reveal, it looks like Ranbu until it switches to color at the end, and you're like, wait, hang on a second.
Now, if you knew how I draw Ranbu, usually, now you'd look back and be like, oh, that's Tubbo. He's got horns. He's got more floppy ears. But again, that was only the third original song, and it was the first one of either Tubbo or Ranbu. So who are they to know that that's how I draw Tubbo?
Exactly.
Not how I draw Ranbu.
We were pretty pleased with that, I think.
Yeah, it was fun to see people's reactions to wait a second, it's a Tubbo song?
Right. Right about when you get to the Beloved refrain, which you came up with. I think that's the most distinctively you part.
That's the only bit that I remember actually coming up with. And I didn't even come up with like all the Beloved lines. I just came up with Beloved, that's what I wanted, or that's what I called you. Beloved, and then I didn't even have words for the rest of those. Da, 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 da. We came up with the rest of those, and I feel like you came up with most of those even still.
You inspire me.
Again, your thumbprint is all over this song. I feel like I more produced it than anything. It was a weird role reversal, which was so much fun, and it's still I love the song.
Yeah, so that's kind of why it's my baby.
It's definitely your baby. Does that make me the midwife?
It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed working on that. Oh, there's extra lines down here. Hold on.
There's extra lines in the document? Sorry,
There's...
we're looking at, if you didn't know, we're looking at these documents as we're talking. And yeah, like we said earlier, some of these documents have earlier versions in them. Oh, there's old versions.
Yep.
There's old themes. Oh, this is still Ranbu stuff.
Oh, we have the old Ranbu stuff from before.
There's some old Ranbu stuff.
Right, because when we originally came into it, we were coming off Prometheus, and so I was like, yes, all the mythology references. And so I was just throwing out, like, all the things you could associate with Ranbu. I was like, we could do something, like, in the melody to reference Mellow High or Fallen Down, because those are the songs that Ranbu's associated with his character. And different motifs and themes we could work on.
There's the I've burned in the downpour and watched by rain. That stayed.
Yeah. What a lie was the name Beloved when there's something between us.
What a lie was the name Beloved when there's something between. I think that was just one of the lines we experimented with.
Yeah. They're just old lines that we experimented with.
Oh, I love that this says, because I do remember this now that I'm thinking about it. We actually took the Beloved line, and we both wrote our own versions of the bridge.
Right. And then we, worked them together.
And look at how many of yours stayed in.
Wait, hold on.
Because here's your version. Mango's version has That's What I Called You, Friend to All, Foe to None, Even My Enemies, But Here You Seem Distant, Can Friendship Like Ours Die, What a Lie Was the Name. Look at how many of those there are.
I think a few of these we'd already come up with.
Maybe a few we'd already come up with, but still, I think this half was still.
This is labeled Old Bridge version, and it's the first half of the bridge currently.
Oh, but it looks like you came up with, But Here You Seem Distant, which I think we changed to But Now You Seem Distant, and then Can Friendship Like Ours Die, What a Lie Was the Name. That's 3 out of 4, which seems about the ratio of Beloved and my input.
And we've learned this, I've learned this in songwriting, it's when you start with an early concept, I'm very lost. I don't do well if you just shove me out into the open world and be like, create things. But if you put me in a box where there's a rhythm, there's a specific style we're already in, and you just let me go, that's where I work best. We had a rhythm, we had a line style, we had subject matter, and I was like, yes, this is where I work best.
We made a playground for Mango, and then
we put a fence
came
around
out with
it.
Beloved on the other side.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I was just like, okay.
And you let me get away with it, so.
I mean, it's still great. And this song, this is Slapjack Gamer's favorite song.
Slapjack Gamer has good taste.
This is why he gave me a Minecraft bee from Christmas.
Excellent.
Minecraft bee plushie. It was because of the line, and Land of Our Own, where we played with the bees. That's literally the reasoning for his Christmas present to me.
I respect it.
I mean, I love my bee, so it's pretty great. It's very fluffy.
And so this is the beginning. After Prometheus and Beloved back to back, I think that's kind of when we realized this is gonna be something.
Yeah, I think that's when we realized, oh, I don't think this is gonna be a one-off thing anymore.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, we didn't post any other songs until Christmas after this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I posted some mashups, but we didn't have any. I didn't have any original songs, and you didn't help me with any that we posted until December.
I think I threw out some of the ideas for the mashups.
You did, yeah. We had some mashups that I did that you gave me some ideas for, but beyond that, we didn't put out anything.
Mm-hmm.
But we were working in that time.
Right, we were working on stuff.
Because we were working on Haunted and You Dreamed a Dream, and then I also started work on Wrong Place, Wrong Time at the very end of that hiatus.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. There's a lot of that in this video. We'll get to that. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about for Beloved?
I think that's it. I think we've gone on long enough.
But yeah, so just Beloved, again, it's one of those Cornerstone songs. It's the last one, and it's got a lot of melodic heartbeats for this album.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, it is the beginning of what I call the Beloved Trio.
I call it
or the Bench Trio songs.
Yeah.
The Bench Trio songs. Which, do you want to talk about the next of the Bench Trio songs?
Yeah.
Alright, let's talk about the next of the Bench Trio songs.
Remember the old days when we were both